What if I told you there's a Western series so brutal, so delightfully unhinged, that it managed to make beheadings feel like a comedy bit? And yet, despite its cult classic potential, it vanished from the cultural conversation after just one season? That's the story of That Dirty Black Bag, a show that somehow feels both ancient and shockingly modern at the same time. Let me tell you why this series deserves a second season, and why its cancellation feels like a missed opportunity for the entire genre. Here's the thing, Westerns have always been about extremes. Think of the dusty saloons, the moral ambiguity, the way characters often seem to exist in a moral vacuum where violence is both currency and entertainment. But That Dirty Black Bag takes that formula and slams it into a blender with a splash of dark humor and a dash of pure chaos. Douglas Booth's character, Red Bill, isn't just a bounty hunter, he's a macabre artist who collects heads in a bag because, as he puts it, a head weighs less than a body. That's not just a line, it's a philosophy. And it's the kind of absurdity that makes you wonder if the show is mocking the genre or fully embracing its darkest impulses. Now, let's talk about Dominic Cooper. He's the kind of actor who can carry a show just by standing in a scene, right? But here, he's playing a sheriff who's basically a walking contradiction, a man who's supposed to uphold the law but clearly has a criminal past. The tension between him and Red Bill isn't just a feud, it's a collision of two very different worldviews. And honestly, that's what makes the show so compelling. It's not just about the beheadings or the torture scenes, though those are gloriously over the top. It's about the people caught in the middle, the townsfolk who are just trying to survive while these two lunatics tear through their lives. That's the real genius of the show, it doesn't just focus on the spectacle, it gives the supporting characters depth that feels surprisingly fresh for a genre that's often been accused of being formulaic. But here's where it gets really interesting. The show's creators didn't just copy the spaghetti western aesthetic. They updated it for a streaming era where audiences crave both gore and irony. Think about it, Sergio Leone's films were groundbreaking for their time, but they had a certain gravitas that felt almost sacred. That Dirty Black Bag throws that out the window and says, why be serious when you can be ridiculous? And yet, somehow, it works. The balance between gruesome violence and knowing humor is so tight that it feels like a love letter to the genre rather than a parody. It's the kind of show that makes you laugh even as you're cringing at the horror. And yet, despite all this, the show was cancelled after one season. That's not just sad, it's infuriating. Critics loved it. Rotten Tomatoes gave it an 80% score, and every review I read praised its boldness. But in today's streaming landscape, where everything is a numbers game, maybe that's not enough. Maybe the problem isn't the show itself, but the fact that it's too weird, too unapologetic, to fit into the comfort zones of mainstream audiences. But what does that say about us as viewers? Are we so conditioned to want safe, predictable stories that we ignore the ones that dare to be different? If you haven't watched That Dirty Black Bag, you're missing out on something truly unique. It's a show that doesn't just play with Western tropes, it redefines them. And if there's even a sliver of a chance that a second season could happen, I'd be the first to throw my hat into the ring. Because in a world where so many shows feel like they've been seen before, this one feels like a breath of fresh, bloody air.